Hey, and welcome to the Headliner Podcast. We're your hosts, Nicholas and Elissa, and we're here to help podcasters learn everything they can do to promote their show. So, Elissa, what are we talking about today?
Well, I think that we should talk about whether or not if it's time to do the old switcheroo over to video.
Okay, I'm all ears. So, 2025, pretty big year for podcasting and video. Pretty big thing on the internet. Call me nuts. I think it's here to stay. So you want to know whether or not our amazing listenership is ready to make the huge pivot to video.
Yes.
I think this is awesome. I'm so psyched to talk about this. In case anyone listening didn't check out our last episode, I've been sitting on this topic for like 3 weeks now. And it's been a lot. It's been hard to focus. I'm just so set. I'm locked in. So let's do it. Why should our listeners pivot to video? I'm going to make Elissa roll her eyes real quick.
I hear a reference coming.
Yeah, there's a pop culture reference coming. Of course, it's me. It's my whole gimmick. To borrow one of my favorite lines from The West Wing, it's next. So, I won't bore you all with the context here, but it's next. If you've had a podcast for a while and you're looking to punch up your production, it just makes sense to pivot into video. You've already done audio. You know how to mix something. You know how to record clean sound. And if you're on top of your social media game because you just are of Elissa and I's generation and were raised on it, or you're a business owner and you happen to know how to get people to check out your site, there's a good chance that you're already familiar with video on a cursory level. So why wouldn't you want to take that next step and graduate to doing full podcast videos? And if I may be that guy, if you're listening to this episode, there's a non-zero chance that you've probably been considering it at some point. So maybe this is your sign from the universe to go and join the hordes of video podcasts out there, putting their content out on YouTube or even Spotify now, because they support video. And that's kind of the whole thing. I mean, Elissa, maybe you can speak to this a bit, but it feels like the industry is pivoting towards video. I'm a old man at heart. I watch a lot of TV. There's literally a giant one really, as if the 75-inch TV behind me is no indication of that. I watch a lot of television, and I've noticed that they even play podcasts on TV now. There are entire channels that are just reruns of podcasts, So it really is everywhere. It's on Spotify, like I said. It's on YouTube, which is the biggest search engine in the world behind Google. We love to say that whenever we can. So it just makes sense. If you've already kind of mastered audio, you pivot to video, you get a much bigger audience, right? Instead of appealing to people's ears, you're also appealing to their eyes. And that's cool. Eyes are the window to the soul, some say. Some do. I don't know if I do, but some do. And on an industry level, there's a lot of interest in video, right? It feels like everyone has a video podcast these days. And there's even been talk about developing a better solution for supporting video on RSS feeds. There was a post I saw, I think it was a LinkedIn post in May from the Podcast Standards Project, right? And they're talking about maybe we can do this. Maybe we can bolster RSS and just make it actually more compatible with video, because it looks like that's where people are headed. And that's where the listeners are. On top of that, and I feel like there's a plug for Headliner coming up somewhere in the middle of this, so please just cut in. Video is arguably more effective at connecting with audiences than audio is. It's visual. It's the same exact audio that people know and love and listen to on the car, a ride to work or whatever. But there's also a visual component. And that just makes it more stimulating. It makes it more engaging. And even if the people don't care about the visuals, that audio is still right there. Actually, I think I pinged this to you a few weeks ago. There was a Reddit thread just by happenstance where people were like, hey, is video podcasting the new thing? And everyone was kind of replying well, yeah, because if you don't care for the video, you can still listen to it. It's literally just more stuff for people to enjoy. And for me, I listen to my podcasts on YouTube, and I am more likely to click on it if it has a video. Even though I'm second screening it, it might just be that little bit of stimulation that I need. And it just helps me decide to pick a podcast over a purely audio one on the same subject. And like, in terms of like the theory and how it connects to people, it kind of speaks for itself, I think. A visual component means a closer connection to your audience. You're putting a face to your voice. And as if that isn't enough, because it's full video, you can actually just pull snippets from it to promote on social media using certain tools that we might name in a moment or two.
This feels where I jump in.
Yeah, you want to jump in right here? Please,
I'm going to go ahead and jump in.
The floor is yours. The speaking stick is yours.
So even if you're kind of considering and you have your audio podcast and you're like, okay, do I do video? You don't have to like fully convert your podcast to video. You still can do your audio. And then like we record in Zoom. We also have our little QuickTime recording in the background so we can get lovely little clips. But you don't have to release the full episode as video. Now, we personally kind of feel maybe you should consider it, but kind of baby stepping into it, you can use lovely technology like Headliner to clip that video just to have like those social assets, just to have those Spotify clips things, all sorts of things like that. But yeah, if you're interested, Headliner, we make it easy. Headliner.app.
Headliner.app.
It's free.
We're super cool and super chill. Look at how chill we are. Elissa's sitting on the floor. She's that chill.
I was going to say.
By the way, when I said the floor is yours, totally accidental. It's literally, actually it's Coda's floor, but we're just living in it. I was going to
say, if you are watching us on video and you see a little like snoot kind of pop up in the corner, that is my dog Coda. He has severe separation anxiety and I work from home. And apparently we just have to be on my lap 24/7 today, which is fine.
Yeah.
Not great for recording a podcast because I've definitely said lock your dog out in the past. And I have my windows open. I'm obviously not practicing what I'm preaching, but hey, here we are.
Well, you just like making my life a little more difficult in post. That's all. It's different. It's intentional.
Exactly. I'm keeping you on your toes, man.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, also as a Chihuahua owner, yeah, separation anxiety in pets. Who knew?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. So to try and get us back on track. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. First off, Headliner, awesome tool. Totally not biased in saying as much. This is the part where I reveal I have like a Headliner tattoo or something. Right. I've been branded with the Headliner H. No.
Oliver has.
Has he? Okay, well, we're going to talk about this in a bit. But it really is just as simple as like you don't have to even do full episodes. You're right. You could dip your toe in the water and just record your episode and use it for social clips. There are a lot of podcasts that do that. I edit a few of them in my free time, and it's great. It's super great because social media is all about stimulation. It's all about visuals and visual storytelling. And yeah, being able to even just use a Zoom call to get your clips is a huge way that you can punch up your production and your promotion. On top of that, it isn't just video. If you feel like it, if you have this video, you can always create GIFs. You can always create images with like quotes that are insights from the episode itself, all that stuff. And you have all of this content that works on TikTok, it works on Instagram, it works on Blue Sky, it works on Twitter, it works on whatever other social media platform people are using these days. It's as easy as hitting record. Like literally. If you're a remote podcast, it's that simple. Now, we just buttered everyone up on the power of social video and the power of video podcasting. Elissa, do you think I should just dedicate a few minutes to being a Debbie Downer? Just popping the balloon we blew up?
I mean, it's very Nicholas coded, so.
Oh man, you make me sound like such a miserable person to be around.
Just in your basement watching TV.
Yeah, just angry at the world, wagging my fist at the Mets. That's my life. Anyway, no, there are some things, and we do want to give you like a balanced perspective on this. So there are reasons to maybe consider not doing video. Number one, it takes a long time to edit video. Based on estimates I've seen online and from just my own personal experience as a video editor, we're talking about something in the ballpark of 2 to 3 times compared to like just pure audio, right? So if you have a 30-minute podcast and it takes you an hour to edit it, get ready to spend like 3 hours or 4 hours on the video. And that just compounds. That's for like a purely, hey, Nick and Elissa are going to talk, and Nick is going to hit 1 and 2 on a switcher to switch which camera is live. Once you start to put in graphics and you really start to take advantage of video as a medium in like a more deliberate way, it just gets longer. At a certain point, you might be making something that's closer to like editorial content where it's an hour a minute. Like you work on something for an hour and you get a minute of finished video. So, that compounds very quickly. As for like other reasons, video podcasting is just like more complicated than audio editing too. First off, you're still editing the audio. It's the same exact process, right? But now you have cameras and you can't just remove parts of sentences. If Nick stumbles across a sentence, editor Nick can't just like take out the part where he stumbled easily. He has to do it in a way that's seamless. So he might cut to a 2-shot of Elissa and Nick, or he might just cut to B-roll of Elissa nodding her head from earlier in the episode to sell the illusion of active listening. Not speaking from personal experience there at all, I promise.
I do nod a lot.
But, or stuff like that. Like in one episode, I completely flubbed a line. I gave like the wrong stat. And I had to go and re-record the line, which is fine. That's totally okay. But then I just had to cut to Elissa for like the 5 seconds of the line because my lips had to match what I was saying. So there are a lot of considerations when you make that pivot into video, and even something as like minute and simple as removing ums and ahs from your sentences becomes really hard when you're working with video, because you might make something that's more distracting by repeatedly cutting around it than if you just left that in. Some editors also, they do 2 versions of an episode for that reason. They might edit a full video episode, deliver that as video, and then go back and do like a more refined audio cut. So in some cases, you might be editing episodes like twice. And that's just part of the process. As for like other things that may get in the way, you might want to account for lighting and like your backdrop on video. So, that isn't hard or time consuming, but it is more work. It is something to worry about. The example I have is my lighting is a lot more even than it was for a while on this podcast. And it's because I got sick of seeing my face dip into chiaroscuro, which is dramatic contrast between light and dark. Yes, we're using Italian film terms now. And I had to go and buy a light. And yeah, it wasn't a big deal. I bought a $10 light, but like that is something that you have to worry about, and it does add up. Other things, you have to worry about your recording setup too. Whether you're recording on Zoom or Riverside, or even what Elissa and I do, which is just using Zoom plus QuickTime and then having me sync it in post because I'm a sick little freak that enjoys doing that. I don't know. It's more work, it's more costs. And if you're a podcaster that's working on a budget, maybe that cost isn't worth the effort. Maybe it isn't worth learning how to edit a video podcast, although there are super cool tools out there that can really help you do that. I'm blanking on the name. Elissa, help me out, please.
So there is one that comes to mind. It's called Eddie by Headliner.
It's super cool and it's super exclusive, right?
Exactly. It's called Eddie by Headliner. It's a free transcript-based editor, so it comes with every Headliner account. Of course, there are points of upgrade. We cap you at $20. That gets you unlimited everything, so you can do unlimited edits, limited transcriptions, and I think unlimited upload minutes. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty confident that we haven't put a cap on anything to that degree. But with that, you also get all of these lovely little marketing assets in the podcast promo pack. They're going to be branded and written in the style of your show, so they're actually going to sound like you. Yes, it's AI, but it's AI that you want to use. And if you don't like it, you can edit it and you can tell us. And we're going to learn from those edits and that feedback to make it better for you.
It's just dawning on me that it's called Eddie because it edits. Anyway, moving on.
We're super clever.
We are. We're the sharpest knives in the crayon box, as people say.
Eddie edit, disco discovery. Make,
nice.
You just make,
Yeah. Make is like the least clever one, but it's also the clearest. So
make. Yep.
Yeah. Makes. So awesome aside and plug, okay. So you might not have to worry about editing software because you've just heard about Eddie. But like there are other things to consider, like how you're recording the episodes, what have you. And even just the fact that you're on camera, it might be a negative for you. It can be daunting for folks. I say this as a person that used to be extremely camera shy. It sucks to be on camera sometimes. It just does. And to worry about your hair or making sure that you're wearing an iron shirt, you know, all that stuff. Sometimes it is nice to just do your little audio only podcast because you could just literally kick it and record. But
not that I dress up, but I do miss the days of when I was just in my little PJ set and I was like, okay, we're just drinking coffee and talking into a mic.
Yeah. No, I totally know what you mean.
I'm in a
it's
sweat
elevated.
set now. Yeah.
This is sporty. This is cool. This is fashion.
Right? I'm athletic.
But no, I mean, it is something, especially like a business owner, it's a lot to worry about. So that in mind, we've kind of given you the whole picture. And now maybe we can just briefly touch on like what we think you should do, you know, answering that. So you should pivot to video, or, you know, answering that. So you see, this is what editing is for. Answering that. So should you pivot to video bit? I'm not cutting any of that out. It's staying in.
Oh, I would leave it.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I don't edit anything, so I would leave it.
So anyway, to answer that question, which I struggled to ask even, I personally think you should at least consider it. There's a bunch of reasons not to. I probably scared a lot of you. Take a deep breath, breathe in, and now breathe out. That said, at the end of the day, it is the direction that the space like seems to be heading in. And I really do think it does help grow your show and it helps you stand out from the bunch. You know, if you think about how crowded podcasting is, adding video in any capacity, whether it be just shooting it for social clips, doing the occasional full episode, which is an option. You don't always have to do video episodes, right? Maybe you just have a huge guest and you just want to do a video episode for them. That's cool. Or even just recording the videos now on the off chance that you go back to them later, or you make them Patreon content, premium content, if you're selling courses, etc. You know, it's a great way to be unique. And yeah, it's a bit like jumping out of a lake and into the ocean when you think about how much video is on the internet. I think it's like 100 or 200 hours a minute get uploaded to YouTube. It's something ridiculous.
It is.
But, you know, the reason for doing that is also exactly in the name. It is a more diverse place. You're growing your potential audience. And it may be very competitive, but you don't necessarily have to be the number one show on YouTube in order to like see the benefits of pivoting to full videos. You're still going to be exposing your work to new listeners, you know, viewers even, right? Because video. And that might be enough to help you grow. And if you're a business owner with a video podcast, that might just be another thing that somebody looking at your business will look at and go, oh, they must really have it together because they have a full video podcast as opposed to just audio. So yeah, it's a lot of work. I say it as an editor. Oh my God, it can be a lot of work to produce a video podcast, but there are tools out there, Edward, if you will, that can like make your life a lot easier. And you have a lot to gain from that extra work. So it might be worth doing. On that note, TED Talk over. What if I just cut the episode there? No, thank you for listening. That really is about it on my side today. Elissa, do you have any additional color you want to give?
I'll give a quick anecdote. So, and I think you actually were the one that brought this up to me, and I was like, that's actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
You can share a YouTube video with anybody. Anybody can open a YouTube video that has access to the internet. You can't always share whatever podcast link that you're using. Just sometimes if it's an Apple podcast, you know, somebody might have an Android. They might not have it. That kind of thing. Spotify. My mom doesn't have Spotify. I can't share this podcast with my mom, but she has YouTube, so I can share it with her.
And you do.
That's my...
You do every single week, obviously. The comments always have a comment from your mom going, you guys are doing great.
Exactly. Because she knows what podcasting is. But anyways, that aside. So there's that little like food for thought nugget. But then also just having a video component really does like kind of just add an additional touch base. It opens you up to additional discovery avenues. I was quite literally just looking at our podcast because, you know, that's my job. I look at stats and I say, hey, are we doing well? Are we not doing well? What can we do to improve? And I was looking at our podcast, and our most recent podcast episode, we've got about 80 listens like on our podcast app. So I'm like, okay, awesome. We're doing cool. YouTube, we have 80 listens as well. So we doubled it.
So
Like,
I'm not a
had we not-
mathematician, but we have 160 listens.
We actually have 172 listens. Why do we have 172 listens? You ask great questions. So we
It's
also
because I
have
kept
the
hitting
show.
refresh on the page at some point, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
We also produce like an audiogram version of our show. So we have Headliner. They've got this lovely little automation feature. It's called an automatic audiogram. Every time you publish something to your RSS feed, we say, hey, ding, ding, ding. They have a new episode. Let's create an audiogram. So we've got our social clips that go out to all of our social channels. Those are all automations. But then we also have a full-length YouTube video that's captioned. It's branded, all the things. So that has 12 listens on it right now. So that's how we have 172. And obviously the difference between the video version and the audiogram version, that's a pretty big jump. But a listen's a listen, We're still getting exposure. We're still getting out there. If you still search Podcast Discovery, both the audiogram and our video version of our podcast come up.
Look at that
which is,
SEO.
pretty awesome, because that's
Yeah.
like a pretty high index, high volume search, and Headliner's there because of our podcast.
I'd also like to highlight something you just said, which is that our video version had 80 listens and the audiogram version had 12?
12.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's almost as if video is this very alluring, attractive thing to people. I don't know. Call me nuts. Maybe don't call me nuts. My self-esteem is in the toilet. I probably can't handle that. I'll crash out. But, no, that's amazing. And that kind of goes back to what we're saying. It's new. It's what people are interested in. So give it a shot. And if you don't like it, stop giving it a shot. No one's going to force you to do this. We will give you a gold star, though. I'll give you a gold star. If you find me on social media and you say that you went to video podcasts because of me, I will literally just reply with a gold star emoji. And you can print that out and put that on the fridge.
You can call 555-555-55555.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
that might have been too many fives. I don't know.
No.
But that was a reference from
555. Yeah, it's fine.
just dial fives and you'll reach Nicholas.
Just dial fives until you can't. You'll reach me. It'll be an automated message. I'll be like, you've reached the Headliner Gold Star Hotline. Press 1 if you have a video podcast. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Anyway, we charge by the minute, so I'm going to hang up and then... Thank you for that, Elissa, and thank you for that insight into our listening and our listening stats and all that stuff. I hope everyone got something out of this. We'll be back in a few days/weeks/soons, and we'll be giving you more info on podcasting at that point in time. So yeah, bye.